Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 73 of Shattered Image, and this one is titled Court Date Part 1. You greeted Sero how you usually would, and then greeted Aizawa. You ready? Sero asked you in a soft voice after you had said hi to your teacher and mentor. Yeah, I guess. Just gotta get this over and done with, you said with a shrug, but Sero could see you were trying to keep your emotions in check. Just ignoring them so she can focus, he thought. Your mum and dad walked over then too after they had parked the car and hopped out and greeted Aizawa. Then your mum gave Sero a big hug, which he was a little surprised about but accepted under the given circumstances. When this is all over, we're all going out for dinner, okay? Your mum said to Sero. He nodded. Oh, yeah, of course, he said with a smile. You watched them. Yeah, but what if I'm in jail? Your mind asked you. No, I'm not going to end up there. I've made changes. I'm a better person. I'm not going, you thought, trying to encourage yourself, but it was also allowing a little bit of panic to slip in as well as the sudden realization hit that if the judge didn't see things in your favour, you were done for. You'll be okay, Sero suddenly whispered to you, grabbing for your hand to squeeze it. Huh? You asked him, looking up at him. You'll be okay, he said again, speaking a little louder now that your parents were talking with Aizawa again and were preoccupied. I didn't say I wasn't going to be, you replied back. Yeah, but I saw it in your eyes just then, as you looked down. You were spiralling a little. It's okay. You're going to be okay. I know it, he said confidently, and you squeezed his hand back. Stop watching me so closely, you weirdo, you said, trying to make the conversation lighter. I can't help it, he replied with another hand squeeze. Just then another car pulled up, and Aizawa looked up. Oh, here's the lawyer, he said. You looked around Sero to see a tall blonde lady getting out of her car. She looked endlessly professional, and you relaxed a little, feeling like she definitely knew what she was doing. Oh, she looks like a perfect lawyer, Sero commented, almost mirroring your inner thoughts. The lady walked over and smiled at you, and then introduced herself and extended her hand towards your dad first, then your mum, then Aizawa before turning to you. Nice to meet you, Yin. Don't worry, everything will go perfectly today, she said, giving you a confident smile. You nodded but didn't say anything, so she turned her attention back to the adults. Shall we go in? Probably best for us to have a small discussion in the back room before we have the hearing, she said. Aizawa agreed, and you all followed him and walked to the court doors, and then you all entered. You'd never been to court before, so this was all new for you, and you just followed instructions and kept near Sero while everything was happening. Initially you were taken into the back rooms and waited in there while the others, those who were testifying against you, went into another adjacent room so they could get themselves sorted too. And then when it was time, your parents, Sero and Aizawa, all left to head into the main courtroom, and you remained with your lawyer. They'll call us out soon, and you will sit next to me until asked to go up to the stand, the lawyer said. If you can, just keep looking either straight ahead or down at the desk. Don't speak unless you are spoken directly to, and you are not allowed to stand up or leave the witness stands unless you check with me first, she said sternly. You nodded. Yeah, okay, you replied. You didn't know what else to say really, she had made herself clear. After a few more minutes, a man came and knocked on the door to call you and the lawyer out, and you followed her and him out into the main courtroom, your eyes quickly scanning the room for your comfort people, and Sero smiled at you as you walked down the aisle from the back door and then sat in the front row with your lawyer. You vaguely saw the lawyer for the others walk in as well, and saw one of the guys that you had hit standing there next to him, but truth be told, you hadn't really memorised their faces, so you wouldn't have been able to identify him otherwise. All rise, you heard a voice call, and suddenly everyone stood up, so you stood up as well, waiting while the judge entered, and then sat down in his chair facing the courtroom, and then everyone else sat down too, so you did as well. Okay, that was all for nothing, you thought, as you listened to another man make the statement about which court case this was, and you noticed that he mentioned that you had pled guilty. Well, it's not like I could plead innocent anyway, you scoffed to yourself, feeling a little tension rising in your body. There were a few more comments made, and then your name was called, and you looked at the lawyer to non-verbally ask what you were supposed to do. You're being called to the stands, she whispered to you. The other lawyer is going to ask you some questions now. You must answer truthfully, she said, gesturing to the stands. Go up now and take a seat. You nodded and then got up and headed up to the stands, giving the judge a quick glance as you got up beside him and then sat down. As soon as you sat, a man stepped in from your right and held out a Bible to you. You looked at him. Please stand, he said, and you quickly did so. Please raise your right hand. You did so. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, swearing the oath on the Bible? The man asked you. Yeah, you replied. Good, you may be seated, he said, and then walked away, and you sat back down again and watched him go. Okay, that was weird, you thought. Once you were seated again, the other lawyer stood up at his desk and addressed the judge, explaining what you had done to his client, and you tried not to listen because the way he was wording it made that night sound much worse than what it was. I didn't just come out of nowhere, you thought with a scowl on your face. I was standing there and they walked past me and then came back to me. They weren't completely innocent either. The other lawyer could see the scowl on your face and was secretly pleased with himself since he could see how his words were getting under your skin so early in the game. Yes, that's it. Get angry, he thought with an internal smirk. Meanwhile, Aizawa could see everything that was going on and looked at you. He's doing this on purpose to get under her skin, and it's working, judging by the look on her face. I hope she remembers to stay centered. I warned her about this, he thought. After the lawyer had said his piece, he then stepped to the side of the table and addressed the judge. Permission to start the questioning, he asked the judge. Permission granted, the judge said, and then the lawyer approached where you were seated. Good morning, Yin, he said to you. I have a few questions for you, he added. You looked at him. Where were you on the night of the 5th of September 2054? He asked you. I'm assuming he means the night that all this happened, you thought. What time? You asked him. He gave you the time, and again you assumed that you had been out at that time, but you hadn't really paid attention to when and what time this all happened, so you answered truthfully. I have not paid attention to dates and times, but I'm assuming you're talking about the night that this all occurred? You asked back to him. Otherwise, why would we be here? He stiffened, but plastered a fake smile on his face and continued. Yes, he said. Do you recognise this man over here? He then asked, gesturing to the man who was sitting at the table beside where he had been sitting. I'll be honest, I don't recognise him, no, you said. This is the man you attacked on the night of September 5th, 2054, the lawyer said, but then your lawyer stood up quickly. Objection, speculation, Your Honour, she said loud and clear. Sustained, the judge said, and you looked at him and then back to the lawyer, and then glanced at your own lawyer and then back to the other lawyer. He pursed his lips and then asked a different question instead. Have you ever attacked anyone in your life? He then asked you. Yes, you said plainly. Here it is, Court Day Part 1. A word of warning, I'm not actually a lawyer, so I had to do a little bit of research. If there are any lawyers listening to this and I've got this horribly wrong, I do apologise, and I'd like to plead my case here that I'm but a humble fanfiction writer. Please don't sue me. But stay tuned for tomorrow, Part 2 coming then. I'll see you then.